pleased were you with that second half?
Not very. Again, I think that any time you play the way we did in the second half, and you've got to give Arkansas credit because I told the guys at halftime, I said, they're not going to stop playing. I said, I've known Mike Anderson too long, and I've watched him coach. His guys are going to come out, and they're going to keep pushing the ball. They're going to drive the ball. They're going to, and, they did that in the very first play of the game. And we didn't, defensively, they got whatever they wanted. I think they shoot the second at 50-some%. And we just, but again, you've got to give them credit for it. They came out and won the second half.
Now that you got that out of the way, you talked about the first half, getting 55 points with this SEC second leading scorer on the bench pretty much the whole way.
Well, again, with Admiral, I trust him, but again, it goes back to this time of year with a team like Arkansas, knowing that they've got the ability to come back and score like they showed in the second half. That's why we didn't put him back in the game. And the fact of the matter is we've proven in some tough situations we can play without Lamonte. But again, I thought it'd be a great experience for Lamonte to see, and I said, you got to see if you can play with 2 fouls right now, because we wanted to try to keep Jordan Bone and Jordan Bowden fresh, but we wanted to go inside. We wanted to do that, and we defensively we were, I thought, locked in for the most part in the first half, and then I thought when we got to our bench a little bit we weren't, and then I thought we gave up too many offensive rebounds, where a couple of times guys just stood and watched, and at the end of the game, they were just more aggressive and wanted to get it at the first half. There was some good things, obviously, there really was, but again, I did something tonight I normally don't do. I walked right off the court, walked right into the locker room and told them I didn't think that as a team we were totally locked in. I thought we went to the bench. Some guys did come in and do what we expected them to do and be stars in those roles, and we didn't do it. And the second half, again, I give Arkansas all the credit because they came out and they continued to fight and go score, and we didn't have an answer for it. Try to play some zone in the latter part of the game to see if we could slow down their penetration, and we did an absolutely horrible job trying to get in it. Never got it set but one time, and had a great possession where, when they get it down low, there's got to be 3 guys who want to block a shot, like we got one of those possessions, but then we stood and watched the guy that had made a couple 6 threes just raise up and shoot another one.
Coach, we've seen a lot recently against Georgia, Missouri, and again tonight, you guys getting opposing bigs into foul trouble early. Is that a result of you telling your guys to do that, or just decent post play?
That's how we played, I don't think there's any question. You ask any team in the league, they know we're an inside-oriented team, and different teams are going to do it differently in how they play us, but we want to do that, and again, you want to get to the foul line. We did that tonight. We were fortunate we made those free throws tonight, and but again, you look at the turnovers and some of those passes in there, we still got to learn to make a better pass into the post. Those hard, direct passes, knowing that people are going to try to fight around, are really hard to control when you're trying to fight for positioning. And so, we've got to get better. We know we've got to get better with those areas, but we're going to always try to put that ball inside. And it doesn't have to be necessarily with the pass. It could be with the dribble penetration. And we'd like to see that some, probably a little bit more than we're getting.
Coach, just want to get your thoughts on Bowden and Lamonte's performances tonight. They missed 3 shots combined.
Again, I thought the first half, I do think the first half they both played really good. I thought they had a really great demeanor about themselves. I thought those 2 guys I did think that were really trying to work and defensively. Again, one of Lamonte's fouls he got was because, again, the guy that we got driven by, and he reached as opposed to trying to move his feet. He can't move that far, just too much of a straight line drive. But I thought those guys did well. At the end, I don't know what kind of pass Lamonte was throwing there that one time, and then we turned it over coming out of a timeout, knowing they were going to go up there and press us. And again, we're an older group of guys. We shouldn't come out of timeouts and turn the ball over. We shouldn't do that. And some of that happened in the second half.
Steve, Troy, Mike.
You had said yesterday you didn't think of Lamonte and Jordan as reserves. Why do you kind of think them as starters even though they're coming off the bench?
Do what?
You had said yesterday you didn't think of
They're not. They're as much a starter. I look at our team. We probably got 7 guys that we really. I could throw Falky in that group. I wouldn't have a hard time starting him because he's getting better. He let down a little bit tonight, but I know we definitely have 7 guys that we've started, and who knows what we'll do with the lineup going, but I do think it's, some guys respond better sitting there watching the game a little bit and coming in and doing some things. I like to think that we can get, defensively, when we go to the bench, we're gonna get a little bit better. Offensively, obviously, we know we do. But, we gave up so many rebounds that we just should have had, but again, you gotta give Arkansas credit for it.
Rick, a couple weeks ago you had mentioned that you don't think that this team can reach its full potential without Lamonte. I guess is tonight, the way you guys played offensively, kind of showing up that just how good you guys can be with him here.
Again, Lamonte's been a big part of our success that we've had since he's been here, and we knew we were going to need him as we continue to go. But to be who we want to be, it's going to take everyone understanding exactly what their role is and wanting to be the best they can be in that role and do it every night. And that's hard to do. We're not going to be perfect, and I don't expect us to be perfect, but I do expect us to try to make the right play all the time. We weren't very good with our defensive transition. We've gotten better in offensive transition. Obviously, getting out, that's one of the reasons we've shot a higher percentage this year. But we can be better, and if we don't get better, we won't have the year that we want to have. And I would say that we're still in the first 2 weeks of January. There's a long way to go, And like I told the guys when I walked in tonight, I said I'll be disappointed if you guys aren't disappointed in the way we played overall the whole game, because Arkansas won the game in the second half. They beat us, and then whether it's mental, physical, whatever it may be, we lost the second half of that game.
Rick, you referenced yesterday that you think Lamonte can be a really good defensive guard. It seemed like he had that on his mind.
I think
first half today.
I think he could be as good a defensive guard as there is in the country if he wants to do it. If he'll be solid and not try to go for steals and not put himself in foul trouble. One, because he's competitive. There's no doubt that Lamonte is and that's one of his strengths, is that he's not afraid to hop up there and try to guard somebody and do that. And you need that. And if you get one guy to do it, it's just like running. All at once Jordan Bowden decided he was going to get out and run in transition. He got contagious. The same thing happens on the defensive end. If you get one guy that gets out there and starts showing he's going to do it, you go back games where Kyle Alexander has really got down into the post and dominated the game with going to get rebounds and those type things. It can all get contagious, but we need to have everybody, again, doing what we need to do and just staying focused. Whatever's on the outside that they might be hearing, they don't need to listen to that. It's just about our team and what we've got to do to get better.
Finish up with Brett.
Coach, 2 things. Mike Anderson said here just a minute ago, he would vote you guys the #1 team in the country, the way you played against him and what he's seen. Secondly, how do you handle and make sure your team doesn't get complacent when you have 30-point leads in the second half?
Well, again, that's a great question. You know what? And the fact of the matter is, that's kind of what, because we talked long and hard about that last night, about where we are and about forget all the outside noise, what people think about rankings, this, that, or whatever. And I get it. The fact that people are everywhere these guys go, people are talking about it, I understand all that. But yet you've got to be able to put that aside, and you've got to be able to be totally locked in on what you need to do to get better. And the same thing with being a game. I don't care what the score is. You're playing the game. Play the game. You don't look at the scoreboard and think, okay, we're up 25, and okay, I've only got this shot. I got to go get a shot, or I want to make this spectacular play. I want to do this or do that. You respect the game. You respect your opponent. You respect your teammates, and you try to play the game the way it's supposed to be played. And again, I've got a lot of respect for Mike Anderson. I really do. And the way his teams play, I knew that they were going to come out and be really aggressive. I knew they were going to continue to press. And I look at these numbers. Again, they did exactly what I thought they would do. It's my problem and my fault that I didn't, some way, somehow, convince our team at halftime that these guys are going to still play. And I don't care what the score is. You still want to come out and play that 20 minutes like it's 0-0. We didn't do that. And again, for an older group of guys, you'd think we would do better. And we had to lead up a couple of times at 27-28, but then we fell back to where we. Again, I don't want to sound like I'm taking anything away from them, because I thought they kept fighting and kept doing what they were doing. But it's a matter of just, again, this time of year, you gotta be building, you gotta be playing into your role, you've gotta, like I told Kyle, man, I said, you got 3 rebounds right in your hands and you didn't come down with, and I said, you're a senior, you gotta come down with those rebounds. And the pass Lamonte threw is, I mean, those are, we're trying to make home run plays when you don't need to do it. So it's a matter of, again, realizing that we've gotta get better, and it's plain, I don't care where we might be voted, or any of that. It's about us staying focused on the task at hand, and that's seeing how we can improve as an individual and how we can improve as a team.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you.